some heart on a battered and barren road. Together though we're worlds apart, in unison bear the load. But we will never hold the weight if we cannot communicate. Pass it on, not yet gone. And we will ever isolate if we cannot communicate. Pass it on. Tearing down the walls, listen to each other. Hope is there inside us all. We're sisters and we're brothers, but we're never ever gonna make it better alone. No, we're never ever gonna make it better alone. The clouds are getting colder, time and terror block out the sun. We're fragile, growing older, there's no solace here for the young. And we will never recreate if we cannot communicate. Pass it on, not yet gone. And we ain't making nothing great if we cannot communicate. Pass it on. Tearing down the walls, listen to each other. Hope is there inside us all. We're sisters and we're brothers, but we're never ever gonna make it better alone. No, we're never ever gonna make it better alone.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to my painting stream where I may actually be doing some painting today. Wouldn't that be exciting? We are still in my ExtraLife fundraiser, obviously, as you can see, with 31 days remaining to go. We have raised some funds, which is awesome. We've had a few folks who have donated, and we had that one anonymous donation on stream last week. We've had a couple of donations through my Facebook fundraiser, but the bulk of the donations haven't started coming in yet, and I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what they could potentially be getting by donating. So, if you go to this link, ExtraLife. Oh, I'm not in the right screen again. There we go. If you go to this link, that will take you to my team of fundraisers for ExtraLife. If you go to my page, Thanatos, you will see in the incentives two different incentives that are available to you. One of them, the $5 incentive, is to have me paint one mini of your choice. The way this works is you choose whatever mini you want, up to 50 millimeter base, so not quite as large as Bellicor, but you know, a single mini. And you get that mini to me, and you tell me how you want it painted, and I will paint it. So that is, and I'll be doing 4 of those. I will be doing 4 minis for the winners of that tier next month in November. And then in December, I'm going to dedicate this stream to painting an entire squad for some lucky winner. If you donate at the $10 tier, you are entered into a drawing to have me paint an entire squad for you, up to 10 minis. So I hope that's enticing. I think it's a good value. I mean, potentially for $10, get an entire squad painted. Yeah, why not? I realize, for me personally, the painting is the thing. But for a lot of people, they want to play with their minis and they don't have the time or don't feel they have the skill to get them looking the way they want. So if you've been watching this stream, you've seen examples of what I am capable of painting. I'll post pictures more of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm not like top tier. I'm not the greatest painter, but I feel I have learned a lot in the last few months, and my painting is coming along, and it looks pretty good if I say so. And it's certainly table ready. So why not, for $10, get an entire squad painted, or for $5, have a week spent painting a single mini to the highest quality I'm capable of bringing it. The other incentive is Be'lakor here. You see where it says Be'lakor for ExtraLife. This is Be'lakor. He's a demon. Right now, he's matte black. Over the course of this month, I'm going to be painting him, and he's going to look very cool, I hope. Today, we are going to finish building his wings, and, well, we're going to start building his wings. I'm not going to hang all, the chains and skulls and stuff that go on them, because I want to paint them in a very specific way, and I want to have as much access to them as I can get in order to do that. But I'm going to build his wings today. I'm not going to attach them to him so that I can, again, paint them as best I can before I attach them. We've also built his base. You may recall I magnetized it so that you can change out what is attached to it if you are the lucky winner. And the way to win Be'lakor is to go to Battleground Games' Twitch fundraiser for ExtraLife. And there's a number of different incentives there, one of which is the $10 Be'lakor tier. And if you donate in that incentive tier, you're entered in a drawing to own this figure when I'm done painting him. I will leave him on display at Battleground Games in Abington so that folks can get a good look at him. And yeah, you could own this figure. It could be yours for your collection, for you to bring to the table and battle your foes with, or your friends. And for a mere $10, you get an entry. I suspect, I hope, that there will be people who will donate more than $10. But we'll see. So yeah, like I said, today we're working on wings. And once I've got the wings assembled, which should be pretty quick, there's not a lot to them. They have, let me grab them here. Oh man, don't get old, friends. Most of the complexity of these wings comes from the things hanging from them that I'm not actually putting in. But let's go over to Zoom Cam and take a look at what we've got today. So we finished this. We finished the build Be'lakor step. We're not going to attach him to his base, because that would just be a mistake. So here's the wings, and here's the options that they have. So you can see they've got a bunch of stuff hanging from them. And you can change out some of the stuff. These two bits here can either be just sort of plain skulls, or they can be 40K themed skulls. Like there's an actual Space Marine helmet hanging from his wings here. I'm going to go with this variation because I figure it works fine for 40K as well as Age of Sigmar, whereas having a Space Marine helmet hanging from his wings in his Age of Sigmar mode is a little weird. And I'm not going to magnetize these because the contact points are very small and I'm lazy. Like I could get tiny magnets and I could try to magnetize it. It would be annoying and I don't have the patience for it. So instead, we're going to do this variation, but we're not going to do it yet. We're going to build the wings themselves, but we're not going to glue any of the dangly bits to them, because once those dangly bits are on, it makes it a lot harder to paint these panels of the wings that are behind the dangly bits. So we'll attach the dangly bits later. But either way, we are going to steps 9 and 10A, which involve getting parts 61, 62, 74, and 75. Let me just knock a paint bottle on the floor. You folks have no idea how cluttered my workspace is. I've posted pictures of it. You probably have some notion. So the reason that these wings are going to be slightly irritating is that they have many, many little claws. He's got all these little dew claws at the ends of the fingers on the wings. And all those little dew claws are individual pieces that need to be glued on. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. First, assemble the main wing assembly. Yep. Let's see, that's 61. So that goes with piece 62. Which is this wing here. These wings are the main reason I'm excited about painting Bellicor. I'm probably going to spend at least a week on the wings alone. So that's an entire challenge in itself. But you can see cat hair. But you can see just all the cool texture they have. They have these little tears and rends in them. They're tattered. They've got little hooks and things hanging from them. They're just full of character. And my plan for them, I talked about this yesterday. My plan for these wings is extremely ambitious. It's more a concept than a color scheme. But my plan is to paint them in blues and silvers and purples and make them look like the panels between the fingers on the wings are a glimpse into a starry space night sky. I try and get it to look sort of like there's a nebula in his wings. So I think Bellicor himself is going to be painted very dark. The skin tone that I'm going for him is going to be very dark. And then he's going to have these dramatic starry sky wings spread behind him. And there's going to be a lot of greenish fire around him, his sword coming up from the base. There's going to be sort of a sickly green. So my goal is to really make the wings the focal point. So if I mess them up, like if they don't look good, it ruins the whole model. No pressure, me. Hopefully I won't mess them up that badly. But I'm going to spend at least a week on the wings, maybe 2 weeks. on the wings alone, because there's a lot of surface area there, obviously, and it's a high concept that I'm working on. So we want to make it look as artistic and cool as we can. We're doing a lot of freehanding. I am not an artist, chat. Not a sculptor, not an artist. But how else are you going to get better at painting and doing art than just doing it? Just trying to make your visions reality. I don't like this sprue connection point right here. These thick ones are always such a challenge. That's pretty good. One right there I missed. Cool. So I have to decide. Bellacor's got a lot of bony bits, claws and stuff like that. All these fangs and claws and bone and stuff. I have to decide what color I'm going to make those. Again, I'm going for very dark colors for Be'lakor himself, for his flesh, for the base. All of that is going to be very dark. I'm a little worried about it because, you know, I'm thinking about it in my head and I'm like, how many shades of gray are there? How do I differentiate between Be'lakor and the base, which is stone, for the most part, stone and mud. And the silver of his metal armor plating. There's just a lot of different pieces that are all going to be gray, and I want them all to be distinct enough that at a glance you can tell what's Be'lakor and what's base and what's armor. I might go with a dark purple for Be'lakor's flesh, his actual skin. But my worry there is that because I'm going with a green fire from his sword and from the ground, I don't want him to look jokery, all purple and green. The other alternative, I guess, is to go very, very light gray on Be'lakor's actual skin. But in my experience, if you're doing OSL, which is what I'm doing with all the light sourced stuff, the green fire, if you're doing that sort of light sourcing, you want a very high contrast. You want bright, bright neon colors for the light, yellows and greens and blues, very, very bright. And you want a dark contrast for it in the figure itself. So I might just go with like a very dark royal purple for Be'lakor. I said before I started this project that I was going to do some color tests, and I never got around to doing that. Maybe we'll do that today on stream. Maybe we'll do a couple of color tests to get an idea what the various color options, the palettes that I'm thinking about, will come out looking like. Okay, let's stick these bits together. This is here. That doesn't work at all. There, like that. Perfect. Okay. I will say I love this sculpt. I spent some time yesterday patching some of the gaps that were in the model with green stuff. I did that off stream just to try and make it look more organic. I've got one portion of the model that I am very upset by. And it's kind of awkward because it's smack dab in the center of the model. So I used too much glue when I was gluing his chest on, and it oozed out right here at the top of his abs. And I spent a bunch of time yesterday like sanding it and patching it with green stuff and trying to make it look less lumpy. It's better, but it's still right here. It looks very odd and wrinkled. So what comes to mind for me, what the association I have for that is a Simpsons reference, and it's fairly obscure. In season 1, you may recall, there was an episode where Harvey Fierstein plays Homer's incredibly competent executive assistant. I can't even remember the character's name. It's just Harvey Fierstein. And he takes Homer shopping for a new suit. And Homer sucks his gut in. And Harvey's character says, "You, let it out." And then, Homer's gut goes, "Bleh." And then he says to the tailor, "You, conceal it." And that has stuck with me. That is what I'm going to be doing here. I have to conceal that blemish by painting it into the shadows and doing sharp edges around it, I guess. We'll see. We'll see if I can do a good enough job painting around that blemish to make it fade into the background, even though it's smack dab in the center of the model. Alright, that's one wing done. Well, not done. There's a whole bunch of little bits that need to be glued onto that, but that's the main body of one wing. One thing I have to consider. This is the contact point between the wing and Balakor himself. You can see, or maybe you can't, but there's a little indentation there, and it maps to this bit here. So this is where the wing attaches to his back, like that. I need to sand the primer off of this area of the model because I want this to be a plastic to plastic bond, so I can use the plastic glue for the greatest strength. So I'm going to have to do some work sanding that primer off. I just primed him. When I prime the wings, which I probably won't do this week, but when I prime the wings, I'm probably going to get some silly putty and stick it over the contact points so that I don't prime those areas. Anywho, we've got another wing to do. I guess what we'll do today, chat, we'll finish building these wings. That'll probably take me another 45 minutes-ish. I mean, I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying to make them clean as possible. So, yeah, maybe another 45 minutes-ish on building wings. And then let's do some color tests. Let's do a few different variations on the color scheme that I have in mind. And we'll see what looks best. Okay. Now all those contact points need to be trimmed. And there's so many of them. I think one of the biggest challenges I run into in these streams and in my painting in general is my impatience. My desire to get things done in a limited time frame. So let's face it, I only have a couple hours, 3 or 4 days a week that are free for painting. And I'm doing some quite ambitious projects now. So I sometimes find myself hurrying. I think that's what happened with the chest on Bellacore there, where I ended up with that gooey gluey mess. Is that I just got too impatient. And this is annoying. The other wing didn't have a prominent sort of flash line there at the edge. This one does. I can trim it a little bit. Just don't want that line there if I can avoid it. I guess in a lot of ways the sculptor has molded that line into... They've done a really good job of having these mold lines part of the scale texture and stuff like that, so they're not that evident. Just here, this particular bit here, right along his finger. Bit of a mold line. Not the worst, but it is definitely there. So yeah, I probably will not prime these wings today at work. I'm going to get myself some silly putty so that I can patch over the many contact points on them, because there are all these little places here, 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 here. These are all where the chains go. When I prime them, there, I don't want those places to get primed. So I need some silly putty, which is a good masking agent. Just put some silly putty over those areas and then prime it, and then peel the silly putty off, and the bare plastic should remain. It doesn't leave much residue. That's kind of silly putty's thing. It's very moldable, but doesn't leave too much residue. It leaves a little grease. They make modeling putty that has the same purpose, but I'm pretty sure it's just rebranded silly putty. It's just silly putty that costs 4 times as much. So go to a hobby store, see if in the checkout aisle with the toys there's any silly putty balls or eggs. Grab some of those. This is one of those contact points with the body. Don't want any large lumps because it'll create gaps. The good news about the gap filling that I did yesterday on Bellacore, I went in and filled some of the sort of contact gaps that were on the model before I primed it. And there's a couple of them that I can't find anymore. I'm like, I know there was a join around here somewhere, but I can't find it. So that was successful. I spent about an hour patching him with liquid green stuff. Just sort of mashing it into some of those contact areas. Yeah, I'm getting sprue dust in my water. Well, it's not going to matter if I'm only doing test. I cut too sharply there. Dang it. That's okay. Okay, did I get all the sprue points? I think I did. Okay. Now, time for glue. Not too much at all. Okay. That's 2 wings mostly done. I have to attach. I have to attach a bunch of little fingernails. So, I need, oh my goodness, oh, all right, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81 for this wing, 63, 64, 65, 67, 68. All right. All right. This is why I knew today was going to take a little while. It's just so many bits. I'm going to do these one at a time, because if I snip them all out and line them up in a row, I'm going to lose track of which is which. So this wing, I need the ones that are in the 70s and 80s. So starting with 76. So you can see the sprues are mostly empty now, but there's a whole bunch of these little doobers around. Let's find 76. There it is. It's not going to take long for each of these. They each have one contact point. Be careful not to lose them. Okay, 76 goes on the outside of this claw here. Right there, I believe. Trying to get it to be into its little nook here properly. Is that right? Got the wrong wing? That's the wrong wing. Boop, 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 boop. I need this wing. And 76 goes on the outside here. Look right to me, chat. Guess that's how it goes. Yeah. That'll have to do. Okay. 77 is going to go right there. Well, it's not on this sprue. This sprue is done, chat. The only things left on this sprue are this gun that I decided not to attach to the base and his alternative hand. So we're done with this sprue. Goodbye. So all the bits that we need are on this sprue. Now that was 76, we need 77. There's 78. 66. How did all this cat hair get in here? Here we are. Yeah, cat hairs do have lives of their own. They just magically appear. Come on. Get. These pieces are small and annoying. Get in there. Is that how it's supposed to go? It's supposed to go like that? That actually looks a lot better. Can I get this one to do that too? Not happy with this, chat. Not happy with it. There. It's a little better. Okay. It would be the outside claw that has the bad join here. It's fine. It's fine. These are somewhat irritating. All right, that's 2 of 6 attached. Oh, okay. Excellent movie idea, Lobster. Yeah, put a pin in that. I think it would be a Studio Ghibli film. All right. That's 76, 77, 78. There's 80. There's 79. 78. Found it. Pretty much any dead space on the sprue has a claw in it. Man, I'm scared I'm going to drop one of these and it's going to skitter across the floor, get under something, and I'll never see it again. And I don't have the sculpting skill to manufacture one of these on my own. Alright, so in the illustration, the arm is like this, so this goes here. 76, 78, 79, no, wait. What am I on? 78. 78, 79, 80, 81. So this one goes right here. It's the tiniest dab of glue. And this glue applicator has been... Yeah, that's too much, but that's fine. least it's easy to tell what the correct orientation is on these. Trying to get some of the excess glue off of there. That's pretty good. You turned the mattress. I'm impressed, Amanda. That mattress is not easy to move. And now Clara is unmaking the bed. That's her prerogative. Alright, I want 79 next. Ah, 79. It's monotonous work, chat, but it's not that difficult. It's just trying to get some precision. It's a little annoying. This is going to go right here. That's better. There we go. Lovely. This is going to be 80 right there. Come on. Pretty good. Yep. Okay. And finally 81 right there. Go. After this, the rest of the stuff that has to happen to this wing is all adding chains, which we're not doing because I want to paint the wing before I put the chains on it. So, for today, and for the foreseeable future, until probably 2 weeks from now or so, that is what this wing is going to look like. I'm going to, like I said, get some silly putty to cover the contact points where the chains attach to the wing. There. But this is my palette. This is what I'm going to be painting onto my canvas. So I'll prime it sometime next week, and maybe in a couple of weeks we'll start painting it. It's pretty cool. I'm going to want to do a little sanding just around there and around there before I prime it. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. Put it aside to let all those little claws dry on. Ah, it's going to be so much fun to paint, chat. So much fun. Where can I stick it where it's not going to get bumped and stuff? Put it right over here. Yeah, that's one wing. Now let's work on this one. This one is going to need 64, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Let's start with 64, which goes on the outside. Oh, come on. Don't want it to fly off into the distance. I'm trying to hold it while snipping it. There we go. .64 should go here. That, I believe. Okay. Go. And then 63 is going to go here. That went together a lot easier than the other side. I think I might have just completely messed up the other side. I might have put the wrong talons on the wrong side. I don't know. Looks okay in the end. Anyway, there's one. Now we've got Doop, 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 doop. And we'll be done with this wing. So, this one here is 65. There it is. There we go. Oops. Again with the cat hair. I don't know, I must have had a lot of hair on this shirt or something. Brought a lot of cat hairs into my painting room today. Boop. $66. There's 67. There we are. 66 is the great big one there. It's going to require a small patch. It's fine. Cool. Two more. That one right there is 67, which we just saw was up here on the sprue. extra glue there that I scooged in. Cool. And the last glue for today is going to be right there. Right there. Piece number 68. And all that remains on this sprue now are an arm we didn't use, a whole bunch of chains and hooks, a chest we didn't use, there's the rest of that arm we didn't use, a face we didn't use. So there's extra bits and all the chains. And we're going to deal with the chains at a future date. So with this messy join here, the wings are ready to be primed. Like I said, I'm going to get myself some silly putty, so I'm going to take a little while before I get to painting these wings. But aside from the chains, assembly on these wings is pretty much done now. Nice. Excellent. Well, that's a good start to today's stream, right? Bellicor coming together. Let's see what he'll eventually look like once the wings are completed. So here he is, all primed and ready to be painted. And then his wings, like I said earlier, go here, which means I'm going to have to do some fixing there to make space. Oh! Thank you very much for the 10 bits for assembly. Assembly completed. So yeah, the wings are going to attach to his back like so. So this, it won't even fit on camera, it's so huge, is what he's eventually going to look like. He's 70%, 80% wing, which is why the wings are going to be something I spend a lot of time working on. But yeah. Ooh. Alright, chat. We're getting closer. So I think I decided I'm going to spend the remainder of today doing some color tests. How much time do we have? We've got like 40 minutes. I want to do some color tests to figure out what's going to work for his skin tone with the wings and such. I have a bunch of these leftover gargoyles from when I was doing my Gunnarsson gargoyle project. Let us never speak of it again. Excuse me while I put my hand right up against my camera. So yeah, I've got these leftover gargoyles. I figured they're a good test because they're the same general body shape as Bellicor. So let's do a couple different variations. We're going to have, get my palette. I've misplaced the hydro sheets that are the official thing that go with this palette, but I've got a bunch of wax paper left over, so we're using that in place of the hydro sheets for my Army Painter palette. Alright. So the wings I'm locked in on. I'm definitely doing a night sky effect for the wings, which is going to be like I mean, it's still an evolving scheme, but it's going to be blues and purples and silvers. So let's see if I can kind of get that to work. I have the basic concept in my head. Who knows if I'll be able to make it work. But this is a good experiment. My basic concept is probably fading between colors. Question is, what works better? Fading from blue at the bottom to purple at the top, Go from purple at the bottom to blue at the top. Probably purple at the bottom makes more sense if I'm trying to make it look like a night sky as seen from Earth. Because the purple is like the more sunlit bits. Like a night sky at dusk. We're going to be doing a lot of blending. It's not going to be as direct as this on the model, because I want sort of whirls of night sky. And we'll add in, oops, I need my paper towel. Add in stars and nebulas and stuff. Okay, so if that's what the wings are going to look like, ish, then what color do I want his flesh and the fingers between his wings to be? Could go with a very dark purple. Is that too colorful for a demon? Then he's got horns and stuff, and fangs and talons. What color do I make those? Remember, he's going to have some armor as well. And then for his mouth and eyes, I want to do an extremely light blue and white, as if he's got stars inside of him. Shoulder pad. So let's do that. Got his loincloth. The fire from the sword is going to be a bright green. Do the loincloth in a sort of a dark red. Think about his horns. I think if I'm going purple with most of his body, his horns are probably dark gray. And then yeah, the sword. There's obviously not a sword on this, so I'm just going to paint his forearm in the greens of his sword. This will be the green that's in the terrain. And the green fire on his sword. Probably the rest of the terrain will be gray as well. And then there's going to be a glow coming from the sword as well. Green and yellow glow. Okay, so that's one color scheme. And then the other option, let's mostly the same, but with gray on the body and let's do this in the opposite direction. The purple at the bottom of the wings. Blending up to blue at the tops. I think that looks more natural. And then do his flesh in gray. Loincloth still in red. And if his flesh is gray, Do I do his horns and talons in a darker gray? Or do I go like brown for them? That brown didn't work at all. Better. Dry brushing the glue. I think I need to go darker on the horns. here's my two potential concepts. Purple Bellicor or gray Bellicor. I can see benefits to both. Maybe I'll post a poll online. You sort of tend towards gray? I agree. The purple is vibrant, and maybe that's not what we're going for with a demon. The gray presents more contrast. Well, it's good to have done that. I like doing this sort of test before I dive into doing the actual painting on something this momentous, because I don't want to get halfway in and decide I want to change my color palette. Either way, the wings pop. I think I like the way the wings look.
Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap things up for tonight, or for this morning chat. I am going to be back. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow, but the next time I see you, I will be working on probably painting the base. We'll start from the base and we'll move from there. But we're going to actually do some painting next time I see you. So that should be exciting. If you are looking for something to do this afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock, our friend Insidious Pie over twitch.tv/Insidious Pie should be streaming there. And Amanda, of course, will be back at 10 p.m. This is all Eastern for more of Jingo by Terry Pratchett. And I will probably most likely be back on Friday, although I might decide to tune in tomorrow and do some work. We'll find out. So thank you so much for joining me, friends. And here's to raising some ExtraLife funds. I see we got a $3 donation. That's fantastic. Oh no, that was last week. Sorry, I'm looking at last week's feed. But yeah, we'll raise more money for ExtraLife. We're almost down to the 30-day mark. Coffee, okay, if you say so. Coffee, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, be excellent to each other, friends, and enjoy whatever art it is you choose to do. I will see you again soon. Bye, everybody.